Well, Uber, the ride-sharing giant and world's most valuable startup, has been in the news a lot this week. Among its more notorious headlines, the battle with the government in the Philippines. Uber, along with other ride-sharing companies like Grab, was ordered to halt operations in an effort to combat congestion there, an order it defied, pending an appeal. Joining me now from New York to discuss this, as well as take a look at the future of transportation, actually it looks like he is in D.C., Gabe Klein, the co-founder of CityFi and the senior vice president at Fontinalis Partners. Gabe, thanks for joining us back here on the show. So look, it's not the first time Uber has defied the government. How big a problem do you think this kind of thing will be for Uber globally and here in the United States?
Well, thanks, Emily, for having me on. I mean, I think Uber is used to this now. They do this over and over where they sort of push things to the limit, right, and then beg for forgiveness. And that's what's happened in the Philippines. They were suspended for a month, and that's a significant problem for them on the revenue front, but also, obviously, it gives Grab, their competitor there, a big opportunity to grab market share, no pun intended. And so that's a loss. But, you know, I think that this is a problem they're going to continue to face around the world, particularly in places like Europe and Asia, because, you know, their governments might be a little more authoritarian or more sort of left-leaning. And I think that they're in a situation where the technology is moving so fast, the business models are evolving, and the governments feel like they can't keep up. And so they're trying to slow things down, and Uber obviously doesn't like that.
Now, you're a Lyft investor, and it's very easy to get caught up in this idea of ride-sharing as the future, but in places like China, we're seeing a resurgence in bikes and bike sharing. I mean, you know, how do you think the chips actually fall when it gets to like a decade, 2 decades from now?
I'm very excited about the renaissance of the bike. You know, I was the commissioner of the DC and Chicago Departments of Transportation at one time, and we implemented one of the first large-scale bike-sharing services in the U.S., here in Washington, D.C., then in Chicago. And people love it. And sometimes I think we overcomplicate people's trips. You know, the use case for a 1 to 2 to 3 mile trip, which is about 70% of trips in cities, is perfect for biking. And so when you look at whether it's OFO or Mobike, Spin, you know, they're US-based companies, Chinese-based companies coming into the US. And I know that the existing docked bike share operators and sometimes cities are worried about it. But big picture, I think the single occupancy vehicle, the car, is really the enemy here. I shouldn't say enemy, it's the market opportunity. And so as that goes down, there's going to be huge opportunities for bikes, for people to walk, for driverless shuttles, and various other technologies and modes to fill the gap.